Hello, lovely people. Thank you for tuning in to Selena, at the real Selena. Um, Welcome on this beautiful Monday in Dallas. It's very sunny and hot as ever in Dallas, Texas, honey. Yes, yes, yes. You know it's the summertime. And so it's like I think 107, something like in that area of temperature. So yeah, I am definitely not going anywhere today. I was gonna go and work out, but I think I'm gonna be doing some working out at home. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Just gonna be talking a little bit. Hey Gary, glad that you joined me. Just gonna be talking a little bit about life. And hey, Meek, I look. I know you was over there with Damn D, enjoying what he's talking about. He can stretch out some content, honey, for years. It looked like. I'm glad to see you, Meek, and Gary. I'm glad that y'all came through. Make sure, hey, CC, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't already, I'm going to just talk a little bit about this weekend. Like, I know some of y'all saw the fight with Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. I'm biased because Spence is from DeSoto, Texas, so not too far from where I am. So I am. Hey, Swift, how are you, sweetie? Sorry, but man down was right. Oh Lord. So I'm a little biased because he is from DeSoto, Texas. So I was really rooting. Um I was really rooting for Spence, to be honest with you. Hey Tamika, but unfortunately, somebody has to lose and somebody is going to win. So congratulations to Mr. Crawford. I'm pretty sure he probably won't ever hear this, but I'll go ahead and give a man his props where props is due. um I'm going to just share some clips with you for those who didn't see the fight, and how this kind of correlates with life. And sometimes life is a fight, and you get knocked down a couple of times and you get a little discouraged in being knocked down. But for some of us, we don't stay down for long. We always get up, and so life is that fight that we deal with on a daily. I don't care if you're dealing with depression due to whatever situation you're dealing with, money situations, your children, some you're trying to raise your grandchildren, and or trying to you was about to get beat up last night. Oh, I mean, hey, it looked like you was, CC. So look, and like I said, a lot of us go through different things in life, and it's a fight just to get up out of bed in the morning. And I'm going to share with you some clips on last Saturday, um for those who didn't. Hey Ricardo, how you doing? Get up and get beat down. Yeah, and life sometimes is like that. You will get up and sometimes you will get knocked back down again. It's just your choice whether you're gonna keep getting up or not. And my boy Spence, yeah, he got knocked down 3 times from my understanding. And yeah, but he got back up with that $25 million. So that's, I guess, hey, you lose some, you win some. So this was just his time to lose. I'm going to share with y'all this footage that I thought was pretty interesting, and I want to just talk a little about it. Let's see, I'm gonna do the highlights. Yes, they got paid $25 million. Yes, so he ain't hurting too bad. His ego may be a little bruised, but that's all right.
Whose era this is? Will it be Errol Spence Jr.'s era? Or will it be Terrence Bud Crawford? That favors Spence. Back comes Crawford with the jab. Down goes Spence. How quickly that changes. And now Spence trying to whack Crawford. Going to the body. Here we go. It's what we thought. They're going to start to go toe-to-toe. There's a big left by Crawford. Backing up Spence. And digging to the body. Spence is hurt. Spence is hurt. So Floyd Mayweather tells him he's stumbling and he hasn't been hit. And that's up after this fight because he's from a litany of angles. And here comes Spence, though, as Crawford. And down goes Spence for the second time in the fight. And Spence is hurt. The seventh. A big shot. Down goes Spence for the third time in the fight at the end of the seventh. Crawford is just a special fighter. All right, hook upstairs. And Crawford has Spence hurt again. All right, hook that wobbles him. Spence might be going down again. And this one is over. He is undoubtedly the undisputed and best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and the first male boxer to become undisputed champion in 2 divisions.
And now, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Terrence Bud Crawford.
Wow. And sometimes life is like that. Life can be, hey Narc, hey realist. Sometimes life can be like this fight. We see Mr. Crawford, boy, he was breaking through those defenses. And you see how Spence was losing confidence in the fight. And how at one point he was confident going in. And then as the rounds go, he's getting knocked down 1 time. He's getting knocked down 2 times. He's getting knocked down 3 times. I mean, it was a good fight to see that regardless of him getting knocked down, he still was going to get up, even though he knew he was closer to losing than anything. He still got up again. And that's how life is sometimes. Sometimes life, you never see life punching at you until it happens. Like losing a job, getting laid off or terminated, maybe not by your own doing. Or your car is going to be repossessed, or you might have to file bankruptcy. Things in life occur to knock you down. The thing you have to ask yourself, are you going to stay down? Right? That's the hardest part, trying to find that space where regardless of what is happening around you, how are you going to deal with it? It could even be a loved one that you always expected to be around die. That comes when it comes so fast. You don't even have time. Hey, Nene, you don't even have time to think about your response. And I can imagine when Spence was getting knocked down, his mind was like, I got to get back up. I got to get back up. I got to knock him down. I got to knock him down. Just to be knocked down again. And for some of you that didn't see his response, I'm going to share that with you because his ego had to be It had to be hurt. Hey, YouTuber, how are you? I want to share his response.
The Las Vegas Review Journal. How would you contextualize or describe Terrence's power, and when did you really get a feel for it for the first time tonight?
I got a feel for his power, probably like first, second round. He's a strong dude, but everybody at this top level have some type of power. But I think because my time was out, he was catching me in between shots.
Errol, Kevin Iole from Yahoo Sports. My question would be, your face was swelling up really badly. Were you having difficulty seeing as the fight progressed?
No, I wasn't having difficulty seeing it all.
I'm sorry.
I said no, I didn't have difficulty seeing it all.
Okay. And then lastly, did you feel when the fight started, like, did you feel good, or did you feel like it was, maybe one of those nights?
I felt cool. I thought, I could definitely do enough to win the fight, but I felt good. And like I said, I'm not here to make any excuses. I'm a grown man. I decided to agree to the weight and get down to it, and that's what I did. So take no excuses. Hats off to the champion tonight.
Errol, straight back. Dan Rafael from Big Fight Weekend. I wanted to know, I know it's only a few minutes removed from the end of the fight. How do you think you're going to deal with this going forward, tomorrow, next week? Are you the kind of guy that's going to just bad night, shake it off, and all is good, or are you going to, stew over this for a while and it's going to hurt bad?
Nah, I'm not going to stew over it at all. I did what I was supposed to do, regardless of the outcome or anything like that. Like I said, I was going to do something, and I promised everybody I was going to do it. So I did it as a man. I stood up on my word. So I'm definitely not going to sulk over this. I'm going to get right back and get to it, hopefully at 154 pounds.
And Errol, even though, we know how big of a fight this was. Everybody talked about the historical significance of this fight all through the buildup, all for the last several years as we waited for it to happen. I wonder, it's happened. You go on the losing side of this one. Does it at least give you some solace to know that you gave the boxing public something that they had wanted for so long, even though obviously it didn't go your way?
Definitely. It was exciting, the whole build up to it and leading up to it too. So it's something that I wouldn't change for nothing. And I'm definitely open to the rematch, and hopefully it'll be at 154 pounds.
I thought that was pretty interesting. It was it was also wow, it was also very humbling. Hey Melly. Hey Chicky. Oh, where's my Chicky? Oh, Chicky probably sleep, honey. I don't know. But it was also pretty humbling for him, because it was I think he expected to win. Most fighters, of course, most fighters expect to win, right? In life, we expect to win. We expect to get back on our feet. But sometimes life will give you some humbling experiences where you'll be down a little bit longer than you intended to stay. He arrived with 3 belts and left with nothing, right? And life happens that way. You come in good, you got it. Everything's going well. Your job, your career, you can buy whatever you want to buy. And then you look up and your supervisor calls you to the office. And he says, well, we appreciate you for what you've done for our company, but unfortunately, we are going to downsize. And since we're going to downsize, your position has expired here. We'll give you a package, or you can, file unemployment, but your services is no longer needed. But I got bills to pay. I got a car I got to pay for. I got a house I got to pay for. What are you talking about? Life just knocked you down. You looking for a job, it's like 3 months later, no job leads. And when you think you got a job lead, it doesn't come through. It doesn't follow through. They decide to go with somebody else. That's 3 months from when you got laid off. What do? How do you manage? Some people find that, they go to religion or they go to some type of spiritual source and ask God to help them, some higher being to help them, and sometimes they even go to other people trying to find a way to make ends meet. They have to borrow from everybody. What's that saying? Going to borrow from Peter to pay Paul, that kind of thing. So life happens to everybody. I even found sometimes with unexpected death, somebody commits suicide that you close with. And when they commit suicide, you were just talking to them yesterday. Life knocked them down so hard, they don't even want to try to fight anymore. But guess what? We all go through those crossroads, just like Spence, just like any other fighter. Hey, 22, any other fighter that has fought, they have to make the decision in their minds, okay, am I going to get back up or I'm going to stay down? Can you imagine Spence as he came to Las Vegas with those 3 belts? He was already feeling like a champion. Just to find out that Terrence Crawford, kind of how like life is, was a better competitor. Terrence Crawford destroyed Spence. He, if nothing else, he destroyed his ego. I don't know about his self-esteem. Right now, he seemed like, okay, let me put on a good front. Let me put on a good face. Everybody can see that I got beat the hell up. Right? He came there with 3 belts and left with nothing. And that's exactly how life gets us all. We have a good day one day, right? Everything is going in our favor. Just to find out we get in a car accident, it totals our car, right? You have situations like I said before, been working on a job, you think you're doing a good job, you get laid off. Somebody you love, you cared for, you talked to, commit suicide. Life happens to us all. And sometimes life is so hard. It can be a better competitor than we are, and it can knock us all the way down to where we can't even see how to get back up. But it's something on the inside of us that I think God a higher power puts in us. I'm going to say God puts inside of us to like wake us up again if we choose to listen to that voice. Hey, Demon Time. If we choose to listen to that voice and that strength in us, it's like, yeah, you going through this right now. Yeah, you crying right now. Yeah, you don't feel like your life is worth anything. But let me tell you, don't give up. Can you imagine, even though Spence was knocked down 3 times, he was determined to get back up again. He was determined, yeah, I know I'm losing this fight. I'm losing like a big dog. I came in here with 3. I had the mindset that I was gonna beat this boy down. I'm gonna come out of here undefeated. Just for him to be defeated. But the fact that he still got up, the fact that he said, you know what, I might have lost this fight, but I am still Earl Spence Jr. That's where we got to be. In life, we're going to get knocked down. Some of us can't pay our bills all the time. We got to put them, budget so good to where we can't even have a fun day. Hey, CKJ. Some of us going through marital issues, relationship issues. You love someone, but they not putting their part. They're not putting their effort in the relationship. So you don't know whether to give up or to keep trying. Life will come to knock us down. It's up to us, that spirit that's within us, to say whether I'm going to get back up again. Spence, he wasn't looking good. The second time he got knocked down. All right. And he definitely knew he messed up when it went to the third time on the 9th round. Hey, Miss Eve. When it went to the 9th round, he knew that third time he got into a fight. Got knocked down. The referee blew the whistle. It was said and done. It's over. Spence knew he had to take his L. He got up. He went back to the back, put on the hat, got rid of the blood, put on a new shirt, came back out to face it. To face not only Crawford, but to face the world. Sometimes in life, we do have to accept our L's. But that doesn't mean we have to stay down. I'm pretty sure, hey, Brooklyn, I'm pretty sure Spence is not going to let this go. He's going to work even harder, whether it's more time in the gym and his whole lifestyle altogether, whether he learns how to do more defense. Hey, Dom, how are you, sweetie? Spence is going to work on his defense. His coaches are going to play a film of where he made mistakes. So he's going to practice it like a great athlete. He's going to see where he made mistakes. And he's going to work on how not to make those mistakes the next time. Hey, Mystery Sky. This is what athletes do. They see a film of where they messed up, their strengths, and they look at their weaknesses. They build even more on their strengths, and then they focus on the weakness and build on the weaknesses. Every great athlete, every person in the world will have some L's. There's a song, "We Ain't Taking No L's." You will take some L's sometimes in life, whether by your own doing or just by life. I've made some decisions in my life where I had to take some L's. But after I cried and prayed and recognized why I got those L's, I understood, don't do that the next time. Don't go there the next time. Don't deal with this type of person the next time. You learn to take your L's. You learn what your strengths are. You learn what your weaknesses are. You see how you cannot go into those same mistakes you made before, and you build on that. Yeah, Ricardo's the only way to grow. What is CK? So you're no longer Reverend Selena. You're now Coach. You crazy. Oh, Lord. Yeah. You have to, and sometimes you have to be that coach to yourself. You have to be that encourager. You have to see yourself even where you are, not to stay there. I see where I am. And this is just being realistic. And this is what every athlete has to see. That's why I said you have to see your weaknesses. I see where I am today. I see the decisions that I made to get me where I am today. Some good and some bad. Once I see those decisions and I see where I am, I build from there. I see where I want to be, and I see the things that I need to get to where I want to be. Many of y'all don't know this, but even though I teach in school, I don't have my certification. I made the attempt. I saw my goal to be certified was to go back to school to be certified. I made the attempt to fill out financial aid. I made the attempt to go and talk to an advisor to see what classes I needed to get my certification. And now my goal is coming into fruition. I am now going to, in August, the middle of August, go back to the university and finish my certification so that I can be certified. I see where I am right now. I know where I want to be, and I see the steps that I need to be where I want to be. And I am making the progress on doing it. This is how life is. You have to know where you are, whether it's good or bad. Once you know where you are, you see your strengths, you see your weaknesses, you see where you want to be. Build on getting yourself off of the floor. Build yourself to get out from the rut that you're in. This comes with determination. This comes with courage and not giving in to your discouragement. Life is going to come to discourage you with events, with people. That's a part of life. You can't get away from it. There's no way getting out of it. As my grandmother say, you will always in this life have trials and tribulations. This is how you deal with them. I could have killed myself a long time ago. But because I had something on the inside of me, hey, Young Riz, and I actually came from something, I know that suicide and giving up is not an option. It's not an option. You have to have something within you. You actually have to have something within you that is built on something that lets you know you may be down today, but you may not be down tomorrow. You may not have everything you want or you desire, but that doesn't mean it's going to look like that from a year now. I'm pretty sure Spence, even though he is a good athlete, he did get discouraged just a little bit, but he understands all people, including athletes, have to take L's. This was just his time. This was just his season to not win. That doesn't mean the next season he will not. Right. Hey Dre, how are you, sweetie? Let me see. CK said, congrats now. Finish the race of real life. It resembles the race of the turtle and the rabbit. Need I say more? Right. I remember that story as a child. When I was in school, elementary actually. And it was about the turtle and the hare. I believe that's what it was called. And how since the hare was, which is a rabbit, you know, I think it's an adult rabbit from my understanding, was fast. So he was just like, if I'm doing a race with a turtle, I'm gonna win each and every time. So he run a little bit, then he would rest a little bit. He was like, oh, look at this turtle. This turtle ain't doing jack. And that's how some of us are. Some of us are slow cookers. Some of us are late bloomers. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you got the other person over there. They got it all together. They think they're going to run circles around you. So the hare slept a little too long. And that turtle was pushing. He was struggling, but he kept going. He was persistent and consistent. He was persistent and consistent. And that's what it takes in life. It takes you to be persistent, and it takes you to be consistent, even when you're afraid, even when you feel like you can't do it. It takes those two things to keep going. And that little turtle just kept being persistent, kept going. I'm not gonna give up. I know this hare can easily beat me, but I'm not gonna give up. And do you know that hare ended up sleeping a little too long, and that turtle finished the race before him? That's how life is. When you think that this other person over here can run circles around you and you just like that little turtle, but you got the persistence and the consistency to keep going, you just never know. Tables will turn. And where you thinking somebody else is going to win, you end up, because of your determination, you end up winning. Stephen A. Smith from the show First Take on ESPN said Terrence Crawford is the best boxer in the world and is the 1P4P king. Okay, Dre. And he proved to be the best that night, but that don't mean he gonna stay there. You get what I'm saying? Like I said, everybody in this world, athlete or non-athlete, you will sometimes take some L's. It may not be his season. His season is to be the victor. His season is to be the best. But it might not be next season, but it might. You know, like I said, but one thing I can see about Crawford, he's very determined. He practiced Spence. He saw maybe some of his weaknesses, and he knew how to go against those defenses that, you know, Spence tried to have. He knew how to break them down. He knew the techniques on what to do. The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but those that endureth to the end. Now that's real talk. A lot of people want to say the Bible's a fairy tale, but I'm going to tell you, those scriptures be on point. And it does parallel to real life. The race is not given to people that always had it all together. It's not always given to the best athlete or to the best speaker, to the best looking person. Sometimes it's about people that have two things. Like I said, being persistent and consistent. Those two things will have you surpassing a lot of people because you don't give up. You understand that discouragement is temporary. It's not permanent. That's when people commit suicide. They don't realize this is a permanent decision that you are about to make for a temporary problem, for a temporary situation of feeling discouraged. But you are about to make a permanent decision that is forever. Guys, hey, Outlaw, how are you, sweetie? Good to see you. We can't, as Gary Brown say, take our eyes off the prize. When we take our eyes off the prize, we lose because we become unfocused. We become stagnant when we take our eyes off the prize. I'm glad to see you, Outlaw. And that's how we got to look at life sometimes. Life it comes just like Crawford. Crawford is like life. You giving them your best defense, and he's still knocking you down. That's how life can be. The difference between you and somebody else is if you're going to get up. The difference between you and somebody else is if you're going to keep being determined. It's been a lot of things in my life that have came to knock me down, even recently. Things to have you second guess yourself. Things that have you looking at situation in life and people a little different. But then you have to realize in this life, it's about learning and applying for what you learn. And one thing I can say about my little life that I've lived, I learned one thing. What doesn't kill you is going to make you stronger. There's been situations that have tried to take me out. My mind. Hey, Uncle L. the way I handled and deal with things. It had me thinking I was crazy. Then I realized this is a part of life. This is something, life is really sometimes really like a battlefield. Not only is like a battlefield, it's like if you're in a ring. You're going to go through some situations where you're going to get knocked down. And you have to know, am I going to get back up again? Am I going to make the decision to keep moving forward and not give up when I want to throw in the towel? I feel like that a lot of times. But like I say, when you have something on the inside of you, you can't allow life to win. You can't. Because life will come to knock you down, just like Terrence Crawford. Spence got back up. He said, let me take this L, but let me take that $25 billion home too. Unfortunately, we don't have $25 million when we get back up after we fall. But we have sometimes greater blessings than that. And that's a sense of sometimes knowing who you are, where people can't break you as easily. See, when you know who you are, when you went through stuff and you came out on the other end, life don't really, well, what people do and what life will do won't always break you as easily as someone else. You have the tenacity to get back up. You understand that this is what it is. But I also know who I am. And I know how I'm built. We all have our days, right? We all have our days where we're weak and we're strong. Hey, John Show, John. We all have our days. None of us are exempt from feeling like I'm tired. None of us. But you got to be built from something. You got to know who you are. And whose you are. I don't pretend to know everything. I really don't. I even struggle to do this live because I'm dealing with some certain things in my life that sometimes can be discouraging. But I do realize that life is a fight, just like what we saw earlier in the live with Spence and Crawford. And then I also was reminded of that. Y'all remember that movie, Forrest Gump? When he said, life is like a bunch of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying at all. You don't know what you're going to get. But whatever you get, you got to learn how to deal with it. You got to deal with it without losing your head. Without losing your mind. Without losing your heart in the process. Oh, CKJ, I'm okay. I'm okay. But I wanted to express this to you guys because I understand that I'm not the only person that's going through something. Some of us are going through something we won't ever tell nobody, not even our closest friends. But as long as you know in yourself not to give up, give yourself a chance. Fight through whatever you're going through and make the best out of life that you can. Life tries to break you. Right, John. And that's why it said be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's the same thing what you're saying. We gotta rewire our thoughts. Right, Outlaw. Life is full of tests. And some tests you're gonna fail, some tests you're gonna pass. And when you fail certain tests, you sometimes gotta go back and retake the test, just like in life. When you in college, if you go to college or school or trade, you're gonna take some tests. If you fail that test, you will have to retake it if your professor allows you to. But life will definitely have you take some retests. Hey, Tim, how are you, sweetie? It will definitely have you take some retests. And then when you fail it again, you're going to have to take it again. Yeah, Outlaw, God's going to keep giving you the same test until you learn the lesson. Unfortunately, some people never learn it. They keep retaking it, and they still don't get why I'm going around the mountain for 40 years. Please, Lord, help me. I don't want to go around nobody mountain for no 40 years. I will lose my mind. So I just say this to anybody. I would like to encourage you, because when I encourage other people, I learn that I am encouraged as well. To whatever you're going through, and you've heard it a million times before, if not, I'm going to tell you, do not give up on life. Do not give up on yourself, number one. There's always something you're going to learn from whatever you're going through, and it will help you in the next level in your life. And as I'm telling you this, I'm talking to myself. Nothing you go through in this life is wasted unless you make it wasted. Right. Let me see. It will, and problems will divide the weak from the strong. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes some people you think is so strong, they put on a good front in front of people. They're the weakest ones. They're the ones that you never would have thought, because they went through this and that, would commit suicide, but they did. They did. That's why you can never think that somebody got it all together, because everybody in this whole world has our own private struggles. Some are exposed publicly and some are private. But you best to believe your biggest celebrity has some struggles, and they seem like they're strong, but they are not, because life comes to break us all. None of us are exempt from it. We will take some L's, but it's how you handle those L's that you receive. Exactly, Outlaw. No testimony without a story. You actually have to go through something to have a testimony. That testimony is, I got through it because of this. I went through this, but I came out like this. See, once I leave this platform, every time I leave this platform, I got a testimony. And you know what it is? I got on here, I have been myself, and I said what I want to say. I didn't allow other people to put me in a box. I didn't allow other people to scare me from speaking what I wanted to speak. And I remained myself. That's the testimony I get every time I come on here. This always builds who you are and who you will be in the future. None of what you go through should be wasted. It should build you up to be a testimony, an overcomer, a victor. Spence will tell his children and his grandchildren about this defeat. It is up to him, will he stay there? That is how life is. We always will go through things in life. That's a part of growing up, as my grandmother would say. You're not going to get out of this world without some problems and some sad situations. It's how you deal with them, how you deal with people, it's how you deal with yourself. Right, 22. Sometimes going through things, I have learned to be more patient with myself and with people. Not all the time, because sometimes I'm just like, now that's just stupid. Okay? Get away from me. But sometimes it will teach you when you go through certain things how not to always be so impulsive and be so impatient with your situations and people. But you got to go through something in order to get through something, you know. You can't expect to have a testimony when you haven't had a test. It doesn't make any sense. So even though I'm going through situations in my life, I understand where I am. I'm not a fool to my reality. But I also see myself where I want to be. Regardless of life and the situations it throws in my way, I got to have my eye on the goal that I actually want to see, where I want to see myself. It goes back to having your eye on the prize. If you get off focus, you're going to miss the prize because you're looking at all the distractions around you. Now, I'm tired of talking. I'm going to put my link up here. If anybody has a testimony or have a situation in their life, if you haven't been up here one time, if you've been up here one time, you can come up. But if you've never been on here, I would definitely want you to come up to tell your testimony or to tell, because this is a testimony service. Amen. Hallelujah. I want somebody to come up here that has been through something, because I know some people have been through, and you never know, your story can help somebody else. It can help somebody else. Because if you didn't go through what you went through, you couldn't tell your story. You couldn't tell it. Okay, sweetie, I said somebody that hasn't been up here. So I want somebody that hasn't been up here or only has been up here one time. Thank you for coming up, Young Riez, but I want somebody that has not been up here. Miss Eve, if you would like to come up, or Tim, CKJ, anybody that has never been up on my panel, I would like to maybe come up and tell me what you have experienced. If if you can. I would really love that. Anybody can take my link that has not been up here or is the first time. If you've only been up here one time, you can come up as well. Because like I say, I can tell you some stories about what I've experienced, but that's okay, sweetie. But it's just certain things I'm not going to say, but what I will say is I had a person that I was really close to. She was going through a hard time, and I was able to help her for a short time until I just couldn't anymore. But she was going through a situation where she was trying to go to school. She was in her early 20s, and she was living with her father at the time. And they were kind of having tumultuous kind of relationship. He was very verbally abusive towards her. Thank you, Miss Eve. I appreciate it. Thank you, Outlaw. I appreciate it. And she ended up getting a situation where she left home. She was in the middle of going to college, and she ended up leaving home, didn't know where she was going because it really started to get volatile between her and her father. Oh, okay, sweetie. I appreciate you, young Riz. And it got so volatile to where he was trying to hit her. She ended up leaving. She didn't know where she was going. She was going from relative house to relative house. She ended up staying with me for a short time, and until she was able to get into a program in Dallas that helps single mothers as well as single people that are homeless. And with her living with other people, she was considered homeless at the time. So once me and my sister got her into the program because we had to give recommendations to this particular program so that she would be able to be a part of it. She ended up getting a part of the program, and it was a year program where she stayed in someone's house for a whole year rent-free. She was able to get a job where she was able to save money. She saved money going to school, and then she also was able to get her own place. She ended up getting into a program that allowed her to have housing as long as she went to school, she was able to keep a job. And the young lady is doing very well now. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's had her ups and downs like we all have. But to actually see where she came from was a blessing. It was like, wow, and I had part of helping her. And it was just like to see this young lady live on her own, she's making ends meet the best way she can. She's staying focused on her goal of finishing school and actually going into the career that she's going into. It makes me proud, and it makes me happy for someone like that. They had every opportunity to give up. They had every opportunity to stay down. And she decided, you know what? Regardless of what I'm going through, regardless from, going from place to place, I'm not giving up on myself. I'm not giving up. And that is what makes me happy, to know that this young lady had that much in her. Thank you, Mystery Sky. To not give up on herself. That takes a lot. You know how many people that go from place to place, they get so discouraged, they go on the streets, and I'm sorry that
I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her because I understand how life comes to break you, and you have to make the decision if you're going to give up. You have to make that decision. And she didn't give up. She kept trying, and she is where she wants to be right now. She has a lot other things to accomplish. But the fact that she said, I'm going to give myself a chance. And you owe it to yourself not to give up on you. You owe it to not only yourself, but your generation. If you have kids, if you have grandkids. And that's why I say that this young lady needs to write a book, because of the stuff that she went through in the year where she was going from place to place and people didn't want to deal with her. They didn't want to deal with her. That she had to fix her life to where it was accommodating to other people because she felt like she was a burden on people. And then when I let her know, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm not going to judge you because I understand what it feels like for people to judge you when you're going through stuff. She didn't give up and she kept going until she got to where she is today. Right, Gary? Life is going to throw you many curveballs. It's about how you dodge them. So, make you crazy. But you know, I get so emotional when I tell that story because that girl could have been me. That girl could have been you. And she had enough strength to say, you know what? I'm going through this right now. But I see myself right here. And I'm not going to take my eyes off that prize until I can get there. Life came to discourage her. Life comes to discourage you. Life comes to discourage me. But if you don't give up, you can see the end. And that end will turn out in your favor. As long as you're doing what you need to do as a person, trying to treat people right the best way you know how, trying to do what is right, and trying to keep a connection with your beliefs and your creator, you're going to be all right. So I say congratulations to that girl. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to me. And whoever else that will listen to this that will be impacted in a positive, impactful way. The fact that you are still here and you haven't took your life is enough. The fact that you still wake up, you put on your pants or your skirt and your shoes and you get on out the house and you go to work and you give it your best, that says a lot. You're not sitting around waiting for life to happen. Because life will definitely happen to you. You just have, like I said, you just have to know how to maneuver it. So if nobody wants to come up, I understand everybody's not a panel person. But if nobody else want to come up to say anything that I had said, that's maybe been on here maybe one time. I want to get someone, or somebody has never been up here at all. I understand, but I maybe I should end it now. But I want to make sure you guys know that
I'm praying for you guys. I hope I don't have to know you in order to pray for people. I don't have to know you in order to love people. But what I will say is keep being the best you that you can be. Don't give in to discouragement, because discouragement is meant to bring you all the way down to the gutter. And I ask that you give yourself a chance and do the best you can, as my grandmother would say. And I always will say, as my grandmother would say, because my grandmother, like a lot of our grandparents, have had wisdom. And the wisdom that they tried to pass on to us, we really need to look and invest and really take heed to some of the things, the sayings that they say, excuse me, because a lot of it comes with wisdom and love. So do the best you can in this life. We only got one. Unfortunately, for some of y'all believe in past lives, hey, do what you do. But from what I know right now, we all have one life. So just do the best that you can and don't give up on yourself. And number one, don't give up on God if you believe in God. Sometimes that can be hard too. So love you guys to Reese's Pieces. Sorry for getting a little emotional, but because I know that young lady, it really touches me in a deeper way than it would someone else. So even though, I'm strong and I may come off like a firecracker, I do have a heart towards people that have been through things. And especially when you know them and you've seen their growth, you've seen where they came from, it hit you a little different. So may you guys be blessed. Have a good Monday. Have a good Monday. I don't know if I'll be live again tomorrow. More than likely, maybe Wednesday. You know me, it just depends on how I feel. I think we have to go back to school. Oh my God. I think sometime next week. I'm not looking forward to that. Oh, yes. Thank you, Gary. But I appreciate each one of y'all that came through here to contribute to the conversation. In the chat. I really appreciate that. Everybody that came through here. Like I told y'all Friday, I appreciate all my supporters, women and men. Y'all are what makes me come on here, because if y'all didn't come, then I'll be talking to myself. So thank you for that. Be blessed, and I love you guys to Reese's Pieces. I really do. I don't have to know you to love you. So be blessed, everybody. Bye.